Does generative AI actually make decisions? Yeah. Okay, so today I'd like to share with you a song that my wife made on Suno last week. She's been having a lot of fun on my Suno account, and she's been on this kick lately to write songs exposing this whole Taino movement as a cult. We don't really need to worry about any of that. My wife is also a bit of a poet, and so she wrote some lyrics, which she fed the Suno AI, along with some prompts, and it took a bunch of tries, as it usually does, because this technology is a bit hit or miss at the moment. There's a process. And, you get the AI to spit out what you want through prompting, and the prompting takes a bit of practice. And to be honest, she's much better at it than I am. Frankly, I can't even do it for very long because the overt distortion this thing spits out right now absolutely exhausts me. There's no doubt it sounds like shit, but that's going to change fast. So don't focus on that either. I just want to focus on the musicality of this thing. So what we have today in terms of the technology is not what we'll have tomorrow. And so, I just want to demonstrate what it can do now. Anyway, so she comes to me, my wife, every day with a new track once she's gotten something great, which includes this song that I'm about to share with you. And I'd like to first play you this song in its entirety, and then I want to break it down in terms of musical and production decisions. And I use the term decisions purposely here because I don't know what else we'd call it. So I ask your patience. Let me play you this song. Maybe go get something you can sip on, and then let me break it down for you. And if you're a doubter of AI technology for music, you might just change your mind about that. Okay? So I'm going to play you this song right now from the Suno website, and you can read the lyrics as it plays. Let me pull it up here. And, for whatever reason, the vocals are never loud enough on Suno, and it can be difficult to follow. The vocals are louder on Udio. I wish Suno would make the vocals louder. The lyrics on here, as you're seeing them, this is exactly as she submitted them. So you're going to notice that, she's not really laying out what's the chorus and what's the verse or anything. And so this AI needs to figure out how it's going to put all of these lyrics into a song. And these are the prompts that she put in: reggaeton, Latin, 90s hip hop, house, drum and bass, deep futuristic, tribal, soul, R&B. And this is what it spit out. And then we're going to talk about it all. Okay, so I'm going to play the song in its entirety. It's 4 minutes long. So sit back and relax.
Cultures another die, Latino homogenized, Latinoized. The use of public design women, loud silence and protected creditors, stealing culture and heritage. Taino people, get people left and right colluding in fantasy. Or question lies, it's not about the money, it's about the money. Taino is real, read a book. That's how they get you on the hook. No, that ain't so, yo. The first contact, don't even mention the title, you know who was mentioned though. Nucaya, Cibo, name, Boricua, Haiti, all the tribes of Hispaniola, Indio, Antille, ancestors unite us. Tainos divide us, conquering minds and eating souls. Taino are the conquistadors of identity. No Taino code, no. Oh, no Taino code, no code, no Taino. Sibo, Boricua, Haiti, all the tribes of Hispaniola, Indio, Antille, ancestors unite us. Tainos divide us, conquering minds and eating souls. Taino are the conquistadors of identity. No Taino code, no. No Taino code, no code, no Taino. No Kuto Taino! Taino Ko. No Kuto Taino. No Kuto Taino. No Taino Ko. No Kuto Taino. No Kuto Taino. Kuto Taino. No Taino Ko. No Kuto Taino. No Kuto Taino. No Kuto Taino. No Kuto Taino. No Kuto Taino.
I have no idea. Like the ending. How did it come up with the ending? Listen, you know, putting an ending that's completely different from the rest of the song. I've probably done it a dozen times, maybe more, or been on part of productions that have done this. It's not a super common technique, but it's not never done. It's done. But this thing decided to do that. And it's just very interesting to me. Like, to me, musically, those tags are good musical decisions because they give us something fresh. They keep the lyrical theme going. And then the whole roads thing at the end, like as if to say, everything's going to be all right. Like, let's just chill out. Like, that's just ridiculous. So let's just, I started at the end here. Let's just take a look. So the first thing that jumped out at me when I listened to it was was the horn theme from the very beginning. And we're going to switch to Logic here. Let me get Logic up on this screen for me. So let's just start from the beginning of the song. It starts with a little percussion loop. And the whispers. Romanticization of a civilization. It put those whispers in. My wife, Tanya, had only put in pretty much those two lines, but it decided to make that an introduction. And the weird thing is, like lately on the songs that we're generating with Suno, it's putting the first line as part of the introduction, like very regularly, like too much. It's like when we discover something new and we fall in love with it and we do it repeatedly. And then we realize, oh shit, the last 5 productions we've done, we did the same thing. So like, that's a very human-like trait as well. It's fallen in love with this idea of putting the first line of the lyric into the introduction. Anyway, I find that interesting. Anyway, so let me play you this intro again here. So this is a good decision. I like the decision. And then we have bam, bam, ba-da. Now that, I recognized it immediately. That that theme comes from The Incredibles. Now in The Incredibles, it's bum bum ba da, which is a better actually line than bum 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 ba, which is straight. It also reminds me of the Jetsons and a lot of stuff from the 50s in that mod era, right? So it's too short to copyright. You can't be screaming infringement on that. Every day I work with acts that have themes or melodic lines in their stuff, and I can go, oh, that's from this or that's from that, and whatever. We do that all the time. It's part of it. It's part of making music, okay? You can't really take a melody that's that few notes and have it not be similar to something that already exists. So we're going to call that one horn theme 1. Okay, bum bum ba da. So that was our first drop, and here's verse 1. And we get that horn 1 theme. And then we get our first drop, and then we get a little horn bump, 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 dun. So it kind of hits the theme again, only it's much more reserved. So that's kind of cool. That's a good musical decision. I'll play that drop again. Stealing culture and heritage. People left and right colluding in fantasy. Don't question lies. It's not about the money. It's about the money. Okay, so that drop, it dropped on the it's not about the money drop. It's about the money. And it had that horn line in there too, the theme 1, and then it hits us with the second theme, which is a more complex horn line, which goes bum ba da ba da ba da ba da ba da ba. Question lies. It's not about the money. It's about the money. I ain't always read a book. That's how they get you on the hook. No. And then we get the second verse. So. And listen to what it puts, how it puts those horn stabs in the middle. It puts the first theme in there, and then in the second line it puts dun dun. I ain't always read a book. That's how they get you on the hook. No, that ain't so, yo. And we get that second theme again. We go into this verse. You know who was mentioned though. All the tribes of Hispaniola, Indio-Antillean ancestors unite us. Now it does a lot of drops, and it does them it repeats the drops. It puts the drops in all the same spots. You could argue maybe that's a little square. Maybe if I was producing this or to reproduce this, and I'm actually thinking about remaking this, treating it like it's a demo because it's so good to me. But the thing is, even though it does all these drops at a regular, on regular occasion, it varies them every single time. So none of them are the same. And so they give us a little bit of something new every time they happen. Okay? So in this one, this one, nothing really happens. The bass comes back in, right? Don't divide us, conquering minds and eating souls. Tie no other conquistadors of identity. No tie, no coat, no. No tie, no coat, no. It's fucking great. It's great. It just sends us right into the chorus. And you'll notice that on this verse, there's no horn stab. So it gets a little monotonous. It's not really long enough to really get monotonous, but it does get a tiny bit monotonous, right? Purposely. And then it gives us that drop into no tie no coat, pop, no. Unite us, titles divide us, conquering minds and eating souls. Tie no other conquistadors of identity. No tie no coat, no. And then we get that theme 2 horn with the chant behind it. No tie no coat, no. And then we get just the horn theme, which is catchy as fuck. And now we get a little solo, which is slightly amateur, but I kind of like it like that. And then we get those whispers. Like it decided to put those whispers in between the solo. And now we go into a repeat verse. Same thing with the monotonous verse to set up the chorus. One little drop there, that's alright. And that gives us the kind of the same send-off into that chorus. Now we get an octave above on the horns. And then another solo. So I just want to show you one thing here. So it goes ba-da-da-dow, which basically ends it, right? You could end the song right there if you wanted to. But then it goes bum bum bum, which just sends us into the that next instrumental section. And that is something that a lot of mediocre songwriters do not do. They'll end it and then they'll just go in. They won't give us something melodic that just shoots us. They don't think about things in terms of forward motion. This AI has constructed a song that gives us forward motion. The entire song, it pushes us forward with its musical and production decisions, okay? So I'll play that again. Bum, bum, bum. Oh yeah, this solo is a little better than the other one. But again, I don't mind the kind of amateurishness of that first solo. It's kind of cool. I'm debating whether to keep it like that or not. And now we get a call to action. It put in a call to action. So it evaluated the lyrics and decided that this song was a call to action. And after the call to action, we get this tag. It kind of gives us this groovy thing and just hammers home the no tie no chorus, because we probably couldn't take very much more of that same exact theme that we had before. So it switches it up. Once again, pushing us forward through this. The breaks might be a bit long. Maybe you could have a noise that's going there so you know that there's still something coming in. It's a bit too much of a fake out for me. Maybe one of them is okay, not two so much. And then this, like to just end it on this, is just brilliant. I love it. I fucking love it. If a human did that, I'd be like, oh, that's brilliant, man. That was fucking genius to do that. So how is it that this thing, this computer, which has just been fed music, lots and lots and lots and lots of music, can now turn around and make what I would argue are better musical decisions than 80% of music makers are even capable of making? Okay? Like, when I went to Berklee College of Music, I was a songwriting major for a spell, and we broke down a lot of songs. And when you break down songs, lyrically and in terms of, acceleration and forward motion, there's a lot of decisions that go into this that are consciously made. They can be subconsciously made too, but once you're consciously aware of them, then it makes you a much better producer. And this AI has made a lot of what I would call conscious decisions. So as hit or miss as this thing is, you cannot argue that it just magically made all of these hit or miss decisions in series that made a good song with lots of forward motion, that made a song that evaluated the lyric and made a song that fit the lyric. And granted, the prompts are part of it, but and there was one day I took some lyrics, and no matter what prompts I put in, I swear to you, every song sounded like a 90s rock song. It was driving me absolutely bonkers. Like it's my least favorite genre. And all I was getting out of the thing was that. Okay. So maybe it has good days and bad days. I don't know. People give me a lot of shit in my short time addressing this AI issue about how I apply human terms to it, learning, decisions. But I don't know what else you would call it, because it had to decide something. It couldn't just randomly pull bits of music, because that would be inaccessible. We wouldn't understand it. It would be shit, right? So it's making decisions. It's mimicking good decisions by good songwriters and good producers. But it needs to make those decisions to apply to this particular song, right? So, and this whole idea that, AI is spitting out, is stealing from the backs of all creators of all time. Well, okay, tell me who deserves to get paid for this production. If I'm to say to you, okay, yeah, people should get paid. Who should get paid for this track? The only theme that I can actually pull from it that I could say comes from anywhere is the Incredibles one, and it's very short. So I just cannot wrap my head around this concept that people seem to be grasping hold of that this thing is stealing. No, this thing has learned good songwriting techniques, and it's taking our prompts and it's saying, okay, well, here's what I would come up with based on what you've prompted me with and based on these lyrics. Oh, you don't like that one? Okay, well, here's another one. Oh, you don't like that one? Okay, well, here's another one. And so forth. Okay? So if you prompt it very specific things, you might be able to get it to spit out something that sounds very similar to something that exists. But if you give it a lot of generic things, like my wife did, that list that she gave it, which was what? Let's just take a look at that list one more time. Reggaeton, Latin, 90s hip hop, house, drum and bass, deep futuristic tribal soul R&B. Now, this is not all of that. What it spit out is not all of that. It decided, I'm going to take this, this, and this, and I'm going to do it. I really can't even tell you, like, to me, none of these prompts have come out of this thing. Not even the 90s hip hop. Maybe the 90s hip hop because it's a loop, but it's a percussion loop. I don't know. I don't even know how it made the decisions it made, but I'm sorry, it made decisions. Whether you like it or not, it made decisions, and it made good ones. And I suppose if I was mediocre at making music, this might scare the shit out of me. But as someone who's very good at making music and very good at production, I'm blown away by it. And I want to use it. And right now, I can't control it. I have to give it stupid prompts. It's a toy to me right now. But that doesn't matter to me at all, because in the not so distant future, and I'm talking like months, maybe not this year, but months of time, we are going to get all sorts of tools that we can use as music makers that can make our lives easier, which is what all technology is for, to make our lives easier. And once I can tell it, make me a beat, oh, no, I don't like that beat. Why are you giving me an 80s beat? Give me something more modern. Okay, give me something a little more sparse, a little more modern and more sparse. Okay, I like that beat. Let's lock that down. All right, now let's lay down, I hear an acoustic guitar part that would go on that. Once I can do all of that, then the AI is working for me as a producer the way I need it to. And I'm telling you, we are not going to be far away from that. I have no inside knowledge of this. I do not work for any companies that make AI. But if this thing can make these kinds of decisions now, the sound, all that shit's going to be fixed. It's the decision making. That's what blows my mind. Okay? And that's what should blow everyone's minds. And so everybody that says, oh, well, AI can never do what a human did. If a human gave me this, I would be thanking them. Granted, I view this as a demo. I'm going to go and I'm going to make it better. There are things that I can make better on this. But if I was an amateur, I'd be ecstatic to have this exactly the way it is. Maybe I'd want it to sound better even as an amateur, even though amateurs can't tell sound. And, maybe the vocals aren't too low so much as they're just so fucking distorted and garbled, everything, that it's just so lo-fi. It's just, I don't know, it's probably a bandwidth issue. I don't know if it's a bandwidth issue for playback or if it's a bandwidth issue for training. Maybe they're training it with low bandwidth stuff at high speed or something. Who knows? Anyway, so that's my breakdown of my wife's song and Tilly's anthem. And I'm happy to share that with you. And I may share more with you in the future. But this is not technology to fear. And this is not technology to stifle by saying, oh, you should not be feeding it copyrighted works. You have to feed it copyrighted works. That's all that's available. And if you feed it only public domain works, you better break out the 78s and the piano rolls. Okay? And even if you were to only feed it public domain music, you're going to want to feed it public domain music that was recorded recently, and those sound recordings are protected. So this whole idea that we're going to somehow pay all the artists through all of time for training AI is so absurd. It doesn't make any sense. It's not possible. Okay? And there are no structures that exist, or mechanisms, or laws to make that a reality. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this breakdown of this track and my commentary. That's it. I'll be back with more. Do me a favor, like, subscribe, or comment. I fucking hate saying that every video, but, motherfuckers got to subscribe. I mean, you got to subscribe because that's how I grow my channel. Okay. And I am interested in growing this channel. So do me a favor, subscribe, and then you don't miss out. All right. I can't believe I even have to tell anyone this, but I do. All right. That's it.